All right, should we get started, Amanda? What was that?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. We could absolutely get started.
Okay, sounds good. All right, welcome and thank you for joining us. Rachel File, project engineer at the Madison Metropolitan Sewage District, holding this meeting today to share information on the Nine Springs Valley Interceptor McKee Road to Duns Marsh project. A few housekeeping items we'll begin with. Everybody has been placed on mute initially. Ask that you please remain on mute during the presentation to minimize background noise. The chat will be moderated for any questions during the presentation. So if you have any questions, please just drop them into the chat. Finally, this presentation is being streamed on YouTube as well, and recordings can be made available. So with that, let's get started. A little bit about the Madison Metropolitan Sewage District. The district was created in 1930 by state statute to protect the environment and treat wastewater. The district now serves almost 380,000 people in the Madison regional area. Wastewater for the entire district area is performed, the treatment at the Nine Springs Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next. So now let's focus in on the general area of the project, and in this area here, focusing on how the water in this area gets back to our treatment plant. So the line shown there in blue is the Nine Springs Valley Interceptor, which takes the waste from Madison, Middleton, Fitchburg, and Verona by gravity and brings it over to the east to the Nine Springs treatment plant. The existing portion of this Nine Springs Interceptor that we'll be focusing on today is highlighted in yellow. As you can see, that's north of McKee Road and west of Duns Marsh. So with that, let's zoom in on the project area, and next slide, please. So if you're familiar with this area, you might recognize it as the Military Ridge Path and Cannonball Path. This interceptor and the Nine Springs Interceptor in this area was constructed in 1965. The portion of the project that we're looking at here is about 4,200 feet, and it's concrete reinforced pipe. And this pipe, as you can see on the bottom right, has a condition and need. Basically, you can kind of see the rebar there in the top of the pipe. We need to address that by replacing the pipe. Additionally, there are areas here that also need capacity as well to serve the community. The pipe right now varies in size, anywhere from 30 inches to 42 inches in diameter. So kind of in a nutshell, this project serves to replace the pipe to address both the condition and the capacity needs. Next. So the project team completed an alternative analysis during design to best determine what route and method of repair of the line. So different methods of repair and routes were looked at. In the graphic, it shows mainly the routes looked at throughout the corridor, but each alternative was evaluated for a series of factors. Some of these factors include minimizing bypassing, utility conflicts, environmental impacts, and long-term maintenance. This led to the selection of a method and route which minimizes negative factors and maximize benefits to the extent possible. And all throughout this design process, various stakeholders were engaged for input. Next, please. So here we'll look at the route selected, which is replacement of the existing pipe shown in yellow. The existing, the new pipe is shown in yellow. The existing pipe there is shown in red. So you can see here, if you're familiar with this area, you know there's a bridge that goes across. And so kind of had to go around that in this area. To the right of this land is EcoStar, owned by Playcon, and to the left is CertCo. So with that, we'll keep headed north as we advance slides. And in continuing on here along the trail, we are showing our new pipe, basically tying back in with the old just south of Sprocket Drive. We are skipping the portion from Sprocket to Truck Drive. That's why it stops up there on Sprocket Drive, is because that was recently replaced in 2001. So that section is not of a concern. This shows where we're going in this area. All right, so with that kind of is our southern portion of the project. Let's move on to the next slide and let's look at the kind of northern portion. So kind of where I mentioned Truck or Discovery Drive there, we'd be picking it back up over by that private drive to the south. And here you can see the existing sewer runs outside of the black dashed line. That is on private land. We want to move it back inside the public corridor, and this will allow us ease for maintenance and to kind of just really move it back on public land. So with that, continuing on, you can see it follows the bike. Oh, could you go back to the slide? You can see kind of continuing on north, the bike roundabout, the Velo underground there. Initially, we had looked at boring. We had hoped to bore in this area, but due to site conditions, we were not able to, and do essentially have to open cut through that area. So with that, continuing on to the next slide, you can see on the east side of the roundabout what that looks like. So again, we're getting off of private property and following the trail east back to that easternmost extent where we will tie back into the existing sewer. And the old sewer will be abandoned due to its condition. Yep. Next. The selected route is 4,200 feet. The size varies from 36 to 48-inch sewer. The average depth is 15 feet. The max about is 17. This includes abandonment of the existing interceptor. Excuse me. And with this as well, in this corridor, there's lots of utilities. And so this work also will need to move some utilities or relocate them to allow for this project. So that includes some existing force main, water, and storm piping that will have to get relayed. Next. So you might be asking, what will construction look like? So an interceptor sewer is typically installed with an excavator, and there will be signage to let folks know, and barricades that the trail is closed for safety. The pipe depth and width will vary, and we will be restoring the area, including the trail, after construction. Next. The pipe itself will be installed by digging a trench with the excavator. And if you've ever dug a hole before, you know that typically the hole gets wider as you get deeper. The same concept happens when crews dig the trench for the pipe. Typically the excavation is wider at the top, and crews will actually slope the soil back for safety reasons. The interceptor relies on gravity to carry wastewater, so this can lead to trenches of varying depth as well. Next slide. And here you'll see a photo of what some of our projects have looked like, what construction may look like. So here you can see the excavator in yellow. lifting a trench box over a manhole. And you can see in terms of, what this would kind of look like in this area. Now, this is maybe a little bit maybe wider corridor than we would have, but it kind of gives you an idea of what you might see out there. Okay, next. So as I mentioned earlier, this route is along the Military Ridge and Cannonball paths. We are aware that these are popular paths and that they will need to be closed for safety during construction. The pipe route, like I mentioned earlier, goes underneath the Badger State Trail Bridge through the Velo Underground, so that as well will need to be closed for safety. So here's a map of the detour sign that path users may encounter. This can also be found on our project website. And this signage was posted today and will be posted tomorrow along the trail to provide advanced 2-week notification prior to closure. This map presents an overview of the recommended detour to users and shows available connections so users can best decide their route. These signs will complement directional detour arrows and signage. I will note a similar map will be provided for a Capital City Trail 21-day closure. Now this closure, Amanda, if you're able to point out, it would be with the intersection where the roundabout is there, if you could go, yep, and then go a little bit northwest, where that Y is, that green Y is, yep, a little bit other direction, yep, the Y, yes, right, kind of, and then go right slightly, yes. So a little bit more, yes, right there, where the Capital City Trail kind of meets the on-off ramp for the Badger State Trail. There is a connection to the neighborhoods just north of there that we need to make. So there will be a brief period of time where that trail is closed. We will share more information once details are known and provide similar advanced notification to folks. All right. Go ahead, Amanda. Next slide. All right, so then for construction schedule, sharing with you the tentative construction schedule today. So work is anticipated to start Monday, December 7th, and it will be anticipated to start up at that red star in the, in the slide there, and over by Dunn's Marsh. And from what you'll see kind of first is mobilization, erosion control going in, removal of the shelter and bike signs. And after kind of all the project setup is complete, mainly, starting in this northern portion here, the excavation will progress its way with those arrows there, and kind of by the roundabout itself, anticipating maybe about February-ish, but it's obviously tentative. And then keep moving south, and we'll have some relay of storm and water piping. Talked about the 21-day Capital City Trail closure, tentatively March. That could change very much. That's why we're not giving dates at this point. And then the project will kind of continue there, and the south portion near Sprocket Drive is anticipated, kind of to start digging in that area March or April, relaying some utilities down there. And really the bulk of between spring and fall of next year, a lot of it will be occurring during the summer, will be lateral tie-ins, grading, restoration into the fall, and by December of next year. So here's the tentative schedule, subject to change, but to give you an idea. of what to expect. Okay, and with that, I wanted to ask if there's any questions. If you can't think of them at the moment, you can always contact me, reach out.
So Rachel, we don't have any questions in the chat. We did have someone come in a little bit later here to the call. So certainly for that individual, this is available on our YouTube channel, or you can always email Rachel to get a copy or link of that, because I do believe you are just on the phone, so maybe not able to see the slides. And her email address is rachelf@madsewer, that's one word, .org, in case you need that. But I don't have any questions in the chat for you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Yep, just reach out.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. And again, this has been streamed on YouTube. It can be found there, or you can reach out to the district and we can provide that to you as well.
All right, great.
All right, thank you. And with that, we will end the public meeting. So thank you.